So, what if I told you that two people could do everything right for retirement? I mean, save the same amount, withdraw the same amount, even get the same average returns, but one could run out of money while the other is totally fine. It sounds impossible, right? But this is a very real risk that honestly hides in plain sight for a lot of people.
Okay, let's really picture this. You've got two people, they've done everything by the book. They've saved diligently, they're ready to retire, and they both have identical nest eggs. They even plan to withdraw the exact same amount every single year. So how on earth could one of them see their savings completely drain away while the other one thrives?
I mean, just look at how identical their situations are. They both start with a cool $1 million. Both of them are going to pull out $40,000 a year to live on. And here's the real kicker. Over their entire retirement, their investments earn the exact same average annual return. On paper, their outcomes should be a perfect match, but they won't be, not even close. The answer to this puzzle lies in a hidden risk that really only pops up when you flip that switch from saving money to spending it. So let's pull back the curtain on this thing called sequence of returns risk. So the culprit here is sequence of returns risk. And it's really just the risk of getting unlucky with the timing or the sequence of your investment returns. The real danger is that it's a double whammy. Your portfolio takes a big hit from a market downturn at the exact same time you're pulling money out to pay your bills.
And here's the crucial point. While you're saving for retirement, the order of returns doesn't really matter all that much. A bad year followed by a good year is pretty much the same as a good year followed by a bad one. But, and this is a big but, once you start taking money out, the math completely flips on its head. The sequence, the specific order of your gains and losses, suddenly becomes the most important factor.
All right, let's go back to our two retirees. We'll call them retiree A and retiree B, and see exactly how this risk unfolds in the real world. Now remember, they're starting out identically, but their timing is going to be very, very different.
So for the first few years, things look pretty similar. But then, right around years 5 and 6, retiree A hits a nasty patch of bad luck. The market just dives, and because they're still taking out that $40,000, their portfolio gets hammered twice. Meanwhile, retiree B is just cruising along, enjoying strong early returns, and their portfolio is growing like crazy.
Now let's fast forward to year 10 and just look at this split. It's huge. After just one decade, retiree B is ahead by over $400,000. This is the raw power of sequence risk. Even though retiree A's portfolio will eventually see some good returns, the damage from that early downturn, well, it's already done.
And at the end of their 30-year retirement, sure, retiree B does run into a market downturn of their own, but their portfolio had such a strong start that it could easily absorb the blow. Retiree A, on the other hand, never fully recovers and ends up with a staggering 18% less money, all because of bad timing in those first critical years.
Okay, so we've seen what happens. Now let's really break down why it's so destructive. I mean, why do those early losses create a financial hole that's just so hard to climb out of?
This quote right here, it just nails it. Think about it. If your portfolio's down, but you still need your 40 grand, you have to sell off a bigger chunk of your investments to get that cash. You are literally being forced to sell low.
This destructive process actually has a name. It's called dollar cost ravaging, and it's basically the evil twin of dollar cost averaging. You know that great strategy many of us use to build wealth by buying more shares when prices are low? Well, in retirement, it works in reverse. You're forced to sell more shares when prices are low, which just ravages your portfolio's future.
Let's just walk through this vicious cycle. First, the market drops, but of course, the bills don't stop coming, so you still have to withdraw your income. This forces you to sell more of your shares at those really depressed prices. And here's the most important part. Those shares, they're gone. Forever. They can't be there to take part in the eventual market recovery, and that permanently damages your portfolio.
So you can't control what the market is going to do the day you retire. That's a given. But the good news is you can build a plan that's resilient to bad timing. So what are the key things we need to remember here?
First off, that first decade of retirement, that's the vulnerability zone, if when your portfolio is at its highest risk. Second, bad returns early on hurt way more than bad returns later. Third, don't be fooled by the average return. In retirement, the sequence is everything. And finally, just understanding this risk exists is the absolute first step to protecting yourself from it.
So I'll leave you with this question. Is your retirement plan designed to survive some bad timing?
Because a good plan doesn't just hope for the best, it actually prepares for the worst. It's not about trying to predict the market, it's about building a strategy that can weather any storm that comes its way.